I'm ready to slash and burn.
No quarter. I am going to be uncomfortable and all over you from start to finish.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Outside of the Box. And this show has already been taken over before, but today it's a Team Shreddit takeover, which is the best kind of takeover. So everybody, welcome to the show.
Woo!
Howdy.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm pretty sure that most combat robotics fans are familiar with at least some of the folks that are in on this interview today. But just in case you're not, I'm going to go around and just have everybody briefly introduce themselves. And because it's the easiest order to go by, let's try and go by this alphabetically as much as we can. Although that's tough because there's a few A names here. So whichever one of you wants to start.
I guess I'll go first. I'll go first. I'm Alex Pezza. I drive Yes Chef, one half of Wake and Bake. Be Careful What You Wish For, and Zip Tide are the robots that I'm known for. I've been competing in robots for 2.5 years-ish. And I've been on Team Shreddit for about 2 years.
Angel, you want to go next or you want me to go?
I'll go. So my name's Angel. I drive Hurt Caboose, Archangel X, one half of Wake and Bake, and Hype Train. I've been on Shreddit for around 2 years.
I'm Alicia. I drive Frustration, and I was at this past season of BattleBots and on Shreddit, but on Horizon competing. So now back with all the Shreddit guys, and yeah.
I'm Brandon. I drive Vibroid, Shreddit, No, and Minimum Viable Product. I've been on Team Shreddit for about 3 years.
My name is LeVar Burton. You might know me from reading Rainbow. Just kidding. My name is Evan. Team Shreddit OG. Day one. It's been like probably almost 4 years now, or something like that. I can't count. And I drive Shreddit Bro 3-pound, Shreddit Bro heavyweight, and hopefully soon Shred Bull.
I'm Michael Shore, sometimes called Little Mike. I compete at Norwalk as a member of Team Defective. I drive and build 12-pound robots, Carmen and Voxel. And we were invited to Team Shreddit last year, and we were with the team for the past season filming.
And I'm Big Mike, known as on the team, as well as Little Mike, been on the team for just about a year. I think it was last summer. The team pulled us in for the heavyweight, but I think, Michael, if I recall, we met Evan probably in 2019, I think, fighting when you were fighting Voxel in some beat-away competitions in kind of central PA, and drug us into Norwalk, and it's been all over since then. So it's been great.
And the invisible person in the room can also introduce themselves.
Hey guys, my name is Gennadiy. I'm the other OG Shredded, Team Shredded member. I'm the builder of the 3-pound Beetleweight Shredder Bro, and all around, I guess, grease monkey, building all the heavyweights over the years.
Awesome. Well, the first thing that I want to talk about, just because the season recently wrapped, at least as far as the giant nut portion of things, and obviously some of you were at BattleBots, of course, Alicia being on Team Horizon for BattleBots. But, let's talk about this season, because I know, it was definitely a lot of those first year growing pains with Shreddit Bro in the beginning, and then you kind of ended up getting things figured out. And that, I mean, that had to be tough, but at the same time, like validating once it finally happened, because, you know, it was even hard for me as a fan. There's certain people in BattleBots where if there's fans online and they're coming for somebody, then I get really defensive. And so if people come for Evan, then I'm like, no, you need to stop talking. So it was hard for me, you know, seeing those comments early on, but you know, you ended up pulling it together, and Shreddit Bro definitely started to look really good towards the end of the season. So just kind of talk about how all of that went for you.
Ooh, who wants to take this one?
I can start it off. So unfortunately, I was only there for the first week of filming. But the build time for the bot was extremely short last year. We got accepted last minute. And the first time we really were able to spin up the weapon in the test box, the weapon shaft fell out, the weapon hit the floor, launched the bot in the air, it dropped, and all of our drive shafts bent. And our drive was completely busted. And we had to stay up till about 3 a.m. trying to find a solution of how to not have that happen in a fight. So we ended up just manually getting step drills the exact same size as bearings, drilling out our motor cages, throwing bearings into the side of the bot, and getting something to work. So even at the very start, even after we showed up, after we had everything tested, things were not in their final state. And so the fact that we were able to turn it around so fast and get it into a workable bot, I'm really happy and proud of everything the team was able to do.
Oh yeah. So in the beginning it was a little rough. Our new speed controllers, they weren't the best for the drive, but eventually it got better, and we did see that progression as it went on. And that's why I can't wait for the golden bolt. Not to spoil anything, but hopefully we get through a full fight, get through another full 3 minutes. It could go that way, it could not. We could get knocked out immediately. If and when it does happen. But yeah, for all the people watching who don't know, the Golden Bolt tournament or the Slugfest, whatever it's called, there's a bunch of fights in one day. So teams have just, almost the same as Norwalk. It feels like you only have 20 minutes for the next fight. So it's a pretty wild ride to even, if and when you get there, to continue for any team that does get to that position.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I certainly hope to see, what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, it had to be a really great experience because, you've had the Norwalk version of Shreddit Bro, and to see that realized, at the 250-pound level and see it get out there. I mean, that had to be a really cool thing to be able to do.
Oh yeah, like I have the heavyweight right here. No, I'm kidding. This is something Angel made. Let me tell you, the scale is just slightly bigger than this, just slightly. I think we compete with Copperhead for the smallest robot there, but definitely being able to. It's always been like a dream. I feel like it's a dream for most builders to take your small robot and make like a bigger version of it. And we tried years ago, but Pain Train is what stuck. They didn't want it too close to Shredderator. And times have changed. We built the name, so being able to carry the name over and putting an exclamation mark to show the difference between the robots, that definitely, it meant a lot. And I'm very proud, because something that I can't get over is that it really does take teamwork to make the dream work. And anyone who goes into alone, you're not gonna get far. Like, it's not gonna happen. So honestly, I do thank the people who are here, and even the people who aren't here right now.
Yes, 100%. Now, a couple of other things I wanted to touch on. One, obviously it came from a loss, but I just thought it was such like genius creativity to turn that into something positive, was the fight with Lucky and putting out the toaster merchandise. Like, that was one of the best things that I've ever seen. Like, who came up with that? What was the whole process behind that?
Okay, so that actually I can take because I was there. So at the very last day of filming, several of us went out to went out to go hang out, and we had gone into this karaoke place, and it was very fun. But Hot Coin, actually, we were talking about some of the fights, and we were like, oh yeah, the Lucky fight, like they got toastered. And Justin, our hot coin, who's on Horizon, just kind of like whipped up on his phone. He's just like, ding, ding, ding. And he whipped up the toaster drawing. And then we decided to kind of use that on merch just because it's pretty iconic. It's a funny moment. And just kind of like spinning it in a good direction. Plus, the toaster merch is just great.
Yes, it is fantastic. So yeah, I just thought that was amazing. And another thing that I really wanted to highlight just in general, that the level of NHRL representation at BattleBots this season was amazing. And the fact that like so many bots that have team members who are pretty heavy staples at NHRL get so far into the tournament, and with Sawblaze winning everything, I just think that really, shows how great the level of talent is at NHRL and why more people need to pay attention to that.
I couldn't agree more. I'll just add to it. Obviously, my first year in BattleBots, and walking around the pits for the first time was very eye-opening. But with that said, just like you said, Christine, you come across so many pits that it's folks that we had the fortunate opportunity. I think Evan, you said you did a year or two ago as well, but we were able to pit right next to Sawblaze and Jameson's team, which was amazing to watch for 2 weeks. And Ripperoni, they were right behind us, huge. They were a couple pits down, and it was you're on the big stage, but it was just amazing to be surrounded by folks that you know and of, and just from NHRL, like you said.
Other thing
I
that's
gotta admit,
awesome too. You first, Evan.
I was gonna say, like, my first event ever at Norwalk was actually, we had sat next to Jameson, and we were looking for like any other available spot. That's when Norwalk was like at 50 day, and it was just like this big of a room. And I was like, dang, I really don't want to sit next to him. And it was, it's like, we're rookies, right? I don't want to sit next to this famous dude. And to be able to pit next to him this year, it was amazing, because I think he literally packs the same amount of stuff. It's like a little small Harbor Freight pack out case. Like, don't let the crate fool you. There's like nothing in there. Just a robot. But I'm amazed on their work ethic and how little they pack, but yet they could go so far. I mean, he won the giant nut, and I don't even know like where did they keep the spares, But that was definitely a great experience to be able to pit next to them.
Only thing I was gonna add is, along with how many people that are team captains, everything else from BattleBots that compete at Havoc, it's awesome to see all the people that started at Havoc now on BattleBots teams helping out, and seeing all these people that just started out in the small weight classes helping with the large robots, and seeing how many people moved on to that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's one of those things where, looking back, I'm like, why wasn't I like watching both before? And now that I know of the existence of NHRL, I'm just like, I think it's the greatest thing. It's such a great like learning opportunity, and getting to meet all of these amazing builders and seeing these wild designs, that you would never even think of. So yeah, just really great stuff. So, kind of shifting and getting into these crazy NHRL designs, let's kind of go around, and I want to talk about everyone's robots individually. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning, and I'll have Alex and Angel, you can kind of like concur, because you have Wake and Bake, but you can talk about your individual projects as well.
Angel, you go first, because you're still actively doing stuff while I work in a kitchen and be a slave for the summer.
Oh, yeah, sure. So, currently I'm trying to redesign her caboose, like complete redesign, change up the weapon system. I'm really excited for that. I'm working on, should I say it, Alex, for September?
We should probably announce that we're doing a new one.
Yeah, so we're kind of taking Wake and Bake to the next step, having a little more fun with it. And we want to do something called the Ice Climbers. I don't think I'll say much more than that, but I'm really excited for it. We're going to take everything we learned from Wake and Bake and Wakey Wakey and Venti Waspachino. and we're just gonna try and apply that to these new multi-bots and see how that goes. Maybe we'll pull off another finals, but yeah. Besides Hurt Caboose and Ice Climbers, recently I did pretty good with an ant weight called Hammerhead at a local Connecticut event, and that was really fun. First time we've ever gotten first place, so that was really exciting. The trophy's like 3 feet tall. I don't know why they made it so big. It's pretty cool, but I don't have anywhere to put it. Yeah, that's about all I got on my plate right now.
So I'm known for, like I said before, Yes Chef, Beater Bar. But robots I'm working on right now, so I have a Peter Bar. I bought just the weapon system. So I'm gonna build a 2-wheel drive robot with that. It's gonna be 4S and brushless. It's the plan. And it's gonna be called Gnocchi. And I also have a Weta Bar, popular in robots like Jet Lag. I'm gonna be doing something custom with that as well. Those are the 2 bots that I got planned this year, as well as my 1/2 of the Ice Climbers.
I guess
Awesome.
I'm next.
Yes.
So I have frustration, which if you guys don't know, Peter is my brother, which is fun. How I got into robotics, how I met Team Shreddit, was I went to go watch his very first Norwalk competition and met basically the whole team. And that's kind of where I joined Shreddit after I just moved to the East Coast. But for Christmas, Peter gave me a kit. So it is named Frustration, which has been a very frustrating experience as a first robot without any instructions as it's coming out. It was very fun. Learned a lot about creating your own robot, 3D printing parts. I've learned a lot. My goal, don't hold me to it, my goal is to create a 12-pound this year for the fall. So it's going to be Christmas themed and more of like a fun robot. I had a dream about it, and
Put the bag on my
I'm
shoulder
hoping
and
I can
press the hang up button on the aircraft.
yeah, so that's what I'm kind of working on. So hopefully that comes out this year.
Awesome. I think that goes to Brandon.
Sure. So the bot I'm currently working with is minimum viable product, a fairly simple fingertech beater bar style kit that I'm doing just to have something to work on, because life got in the way of more fun designs. So I have that to fight with while I'm working on the other 2 that I'm currently designing. I'm trying to bring back Vibroid from the past, but with hub motor design. So I'm trying to learn how to use the Tormach over at Havoc to see if I can mill my own hub motors out and switch over for that. And I'm also trying to do a bot that I'm dubbing Cookie Cutter, that we'll see how that works when it's done.
Sweet. And then Evan, we know about Shreddit Bro, but is there anything you can say about Shred Bull?
So Shred Bull, I would say, would be the halfway point between heavyweight Shreddit Bro and 250-pound Shreddit Bro. And what I really like is trying to incorporate the 4-wheel drive, take somewhat similar designs to what we're working on now. It's going to look a little different, but the basic theory, having everything set up very similar. And to be honest, after driving the heavyweight Shredded Bro, that was amazing. I love the 4-wheel drive. Now I get it, because like with 2-wheel drive, I there's like a weird term I call it like sticky drive, where it's like the 4 wheels keep you planted more compared to 2-wheel drive. You kind of like drift around, which it all has its purpose, and I'm not complaining about either one. I think 4-wheel drive routes are great. But yeah, so with Shred Bull, it's gonna be something. We finally got our weapon from China, and we've been working to refine it. And luckily, once again, I have G, who's worked on every robot with me. And yeah, that's my right hand man, and we're gonna take on Shred Bull. And I really feel bad for the competition, or I feel bad for ourselves. But either way, it's gonna be great because after a fight, I'm probably the happiest person, whether I get destroyed or I won. It's it's the same thing. It's all the combat. As long as it functions, you turn it on, it's not dead. So yeah, Shred Bowl, it's gonna look pretty. It's gonna function good, and I'm really proud of it. I mean, even though it hasn't fought yet, but you gotta be proud of your robots, no matter how they perform.
For sure. Mike and Michael?
I can lead off. So we are team defective members. I started fighting beetle weights like 4 or 5 years ago when I was in high school. And so then we graduated to Norwalk. We've been coming back ever since. So I mostly fight and build 12-pound robots now. I have my 12-pound robot Carmen and a 12-pound voxel, which is fairly new. And they're just kind of my ongoing projects. They both kind of have different, design goals, but they're just kind of my ongoing, to see what can I apply from, engineering school into my robots. And it's kind of funny getting to a certain class where I've already done stuff through this fort, through the BattleBots or Norwalk. So it's just been a really cool experience, and BattleBots was a huge bucket list item that was just awesome for my engineering nerdy brain to just go and snoop at other stuff. But yeah, it was just a super cool experience.
Awesome. And Gennadiy?
I guess I've been doing this for as much as Evan has since we started Team Shreddit together. I haven't really done anything on my own, so to speak. I guess my only venture into that was the Forlorn Picante at one point. I don't know if you know about it, Christine. It was a finger tech beater bar turned on its side and in a frame of both Shreddit Bro and Blackbird mixed together. I guess there's nothing current that's active on in my project here. Just kind of helping out where I can with different team members' projects, and I guess the current active project is Shred Ball.
Awesome. Well, I definitely look forward to that. And so the big question, which I think is a really fun question, and it definitely gets people thinking, is, so I'm going to go around and ask each of you, if you had an unlimited amount of money and resources and you could build any combat robot that you wanted to, at any size, I mean, could be a 3-pound, could be 250, whatever you would want to do, what would you do and why? So I'm going to go to Alex first.
All right. This is hard because I'd build different robots for different weight classes. But the one that's always in my mind is either a 12 or a 30-pound robot. And I don't know, for some reason, I could build really durable bots that are really small for the weight class and put a lot of pack in the weapon. And so because of that, I want to build a nice tight 2-wheel drive frame and run the biggest vertical bar that I can run at Norwalk and shape it like a mushroom. So I could name the robot Mushroom for Failure. This is a bot I'm actively still working on. This is a thing. But if I got the resources to build it tomorrow, it would happen. So if anyone wants to sponsor a mushroom themed 2-wheel death machine that's a glass cannon reminiscent of Deep Six, hit me up.
Please, if anyone is watching this, someone do that. This needs to happen. Yes, I love that answer.
Alex, I'll call you after.
I mean, like, if I hit the lottery, I just spend all my money on sponsoring robots. That's what I do. So, Angel.
Yeah, so I've for a long time really wanted to build a 30. I want to do a 30-pound Hurt Caboose because I think I've had the most success with that bot. It's just a plain old beater bar bot, but I want to make it special. Put it into the 30s, see how it does. Another thing I would really like to do, if I had unlimited money, is a heavyweight. Whether It's Wake and Bake with Alex, which we're gonna do one day.
Let's go.
It's happening one day. I don't care. I'd love to revive Pain Train. I don't want to let it die. I want to bring that back. Or maybe an Archangel X. I just want to have a really pretty looking bot on TV. So, I don't know. One of those three things.
Archangel X is one of the most beautiful robots I've ever seen. So that's my vote.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was the goal. I kind of put the design before the functionality, and it suffered because of that, but it looked pretty while it was dying. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. Alicia.
So I just like chaos. I feel like I would maybe make like a 30. I've always wanted to make like a Trojan horse one. It would only work once, but like have like an outer robot, like you get it in the box and then people are like, oh my gosh, it looks great. And then like little robots just like come out of it. And it's just like causing chaos. Like I don't think it would actually work very well. And I'm not very like, I love the technical stuff, but not like I'm not super techie designing. I'm not an engineer. So I feel like the fun chaos is what I really enjoy. So I think it would just be very chaotic and then trying to, you know, get all of the little robots. You just have a horde of people and people would be like, why is like 12 people walking up to the box if there's one robot? I just think it would be chaos.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a fun time regardless of how it actually went. Brandon.
Yep. So the one bot that I would love to build and never will is spawned out by asking Norwalk staff about a specific rules question. So I would like to build a 30-pound bot with a router bit attached to it that can drop down. Because according to talking with members of their staff, if you cut a hole in the arena floor and drop your opponent through, it does count as a ring out. It does count as a win. You will be banned for life from the competition.
That's something I did not know. And now that's very helpful to know. Okay. Evan.
I really like the heavyweight stuff, but I think I would do either 30-pound or another heavyweight that's very close to what we have now, sort of like what we have coming next year, but actually have like the time to make it and multiple configurations to do so. Because it would be nice like having like a plow or something in the front when you go against the horizontal. Not that we fought one yet, but you know, I would like to have like all like the little fun goodies to go with it. Or even play around and do like a drum in the front and then like a hammer saw on the back, just for something, you know, a little wacky. And if anyone gets behind me, it'll act like a scorpion, like get out of here, you know. But yeah, something like that.
Very cool. Mike and Michael, I don't know if you've changed your answer since the last time you were on, but or if you've come up with an alternate answer, that's also fine.
I'm kind of glad you asked this because I've had time to think about it since I talked to you last. So I want to build something that's not a 4-wheel drive vert at some point. And last time I was on, I said I considered making an overhead. I'm still standing by that, but it's something new. But I kind of want to see how far I can get designing it to see if I like it or not. But if I had unlimited funds, I would consider making it a 30-pound. And also something else I want to do is go compete across like the country at different events. So that would just be something cool that I would, you know, enjoy doing at some point. But
very cool. And I'll add on to that. I don't think I changed my answer too much. I don't have quite the design background as most of the team. Mentioned it before, but if folks don't know, the Voxel V1 was the first Beetle that Michael built. He fought that. That was a bot that he was fighting when we met Evan several years ago. And then I think the last time you fought at Michael was Motorama in 2020, if I remember correctly. And then kind of the COVID shutdown project, Michael redesigned the beetle weight voxel into kind of the voxel V2, which is not retired yet. It hasn't been out for a while, but we might have a younger sibling driving that sometime soon, which will be fun. But Voxel V1 was the original beetle that Michael built, and when he went away to college, he gave that to me as a gift, which was awesome. I was traveling to Norwalk and the other events with him, and just trying to be the pit help. I was kind of the wheel cleaner, and that was about it. So that's how I got started with it. And I kind of, excuse me, I kind of like older things. So, unlimited funds. I'd like to keep the OG Voxel V1 and just make the inside of it as high tech and as cool as it can be, and see how it continues to compete. So kind of my goal. I'd like to fight a 12-pounder here or there at some point, but that weight class is getting pretty scary. So not that the 3-pound isn't, and they're all pretty scary, but yeah, I'd just like to keep the OG and put as much technology in it as we can. So.
Absolutely. And yes, they are all pretty scary. That is for sure. Gennadiy, do you have any ideas?
I don't know if this is in the scope of this discussion, but have you guys seen the movie Real Steel?
Yeah.
It's humanoid fighting robots, mimicking their operators. So something like that with unlimited funds, I think would be really cool. And imagine something like that competing in actual like current style combat robots. Just a humanoid robot goes into the arena, picks up saw blades and just bashes it on the shelf or something. How cool would that be?
That's sick.
That would be pretty cool. And I did say combat. I didn't specify, what type of combat. So it goes.
So
But
there you go. I'll stick with that one.
Good answer.
awesome. I like the variety. Very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, I mean, the June event is going to be coming soon here in less than a month. It's a 2-day event, which should be pretty exciting. I think the last thing that I was just curious about is because, recently with the more recent events, Norwalk's been rolling out a lot of other just neat and unique things like the events where the different freestyle options and things like that, where I think it was capture the flag or something like that they did in the May event, and like all of these other types of things that you could be involved in. I was curious to get everyone's thoughts, just in general, whoever wants to answer, what you think about that, because I do think that it gives more opportunities for variety and different things that people can participate in, whether they go deep into the tournament or not.
I personally would think it would be cool to do like a team battle. I do like what they're doing. I feel bad for the people, they're all playing with the structure, so I feel bad for the people who have to kind of sit there for a few hours before they get a fight. I like, showing up fighting because that's what we're all here for. And I hope that changes in the future, but I do think that they're going in the right direction. And the way that they're expanding the sport's really cool. And hopefully they go back to double elimination. Because I could say I think most of the times that we've ever won was through the losers bracket. So it gets pretty intense. But the way that they're promoting the sport is really good. And I love how even downstairs, people could drive the Brett the Brick robot. And I haven't gotten the chance yet, but I love to do that sometime myself.
Yeah, 100%. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I think it's really cool. I know the change to single elimination was a huge change. But I think the add-on, just kind of seeing how the days have worked through, and at least in March and May, with the qualifiers, there's still, it's meaningful fights to get into the bracket. You might go 2 fights and you're done, or you might get in a bracket and go 3 and done. And then if you have the opportunity to go deep, the bracket really changes as you get to go deep, but then the add-on freestyle fights and things like that give you the opportunity to, you're not just showing up in a single elimination tournament and if you're unfortunate and lose that first one, you're done for the day and you go home. There's meaningful qualifiers and meaningful events. If you do get bumped out of the bracket, there's still events to fight and learn and see how you do, and most importantly, interact with the other builders.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's great. We'll definitely see how the next event goes. I wish everybody from Team Shreddit the best of luck at that event who is competing. And I may even be judging. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I just so much to look forward to. I think Team Shreddit is just one of the great teams at NHRL. And I just look forward to so much of seeing what all of you continue to do. So I thank everyone for joining. For everyone that's watching the show, please make sure that if you haven't subscribed, you go ahead and do that because there's so much more content on the way. And like and comment and share and just keep up the discussion and support combat robotics in any way that you can. So keep watching and we'll see everybody next time on the show.